Namaskaram, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, Karma Yogam, sloka 33. In this sloka, God says, even wise people behave according to, that is, they do actions according to their own nature. So all beings follow their own nature. In this sloka, Lord Krishna points out, even the most well-read and educated person will find difficult to practice karma yoga because he acts against his will. So there is a force to be applied. So Krishna says, action is superior than inaction. So you have to do your karma. You have to do your duty. You have to do your responsibilities. When you are doing your duties, it should be suitable to your own nature. Only then you do justice to that. So Krishna says, do your duties as per your nature, according to your nature, so that you will do it much better. And why we have that? Why should we apply force? Why do we go against that? Why our mind says, no, I will not do that? That is because of karma vasana. That means the karmic reaction, that the effects of karma we did in our previous births. So due to that, we are affected by different gunas. So the karmic effects make us get dominated by different gunas. So when we are in Sattvic Guna, we follow what the scripture says. When we are in Rajas Guna, we don't. When we are in Tamas Guna, we don't do duties at all. We don't do any dharma, that is, we don't do any action. So Bhagavan says, you are influenced by karma vasana, but you can come out of that by spiritual path. Go in a spiritual line and accept. When you move spiritually, when you have the spiritual advancement, that what is that we are getting, what is that outcome is, we accept what we are, where we are. That is very important. Only then we have a inclination to learn. We have inclination to change ourselves. We have inclination to choose a better path and do better. So for that we should have the mind to accept what we are, and that is, we should understand the defects, or we should understand the mistakes what we do. Only then we will come out of that. If you are under Rajas, you will not accept it because you have arrogance. So you will not accept, you will not have the capability of doing self-analysis. So this is a problem. So God gives us the way to come out of it. The way is spiritual path. And if we look at the living creatures, everyone has got its own nature. For example, ant, they collect food. They are busy in collecting food. They go in a line and they store food for the winter time. So that is an edge. Even if you separate them, they immediately form a line and go. If you take dog is very loyal to its master. So even if you offer 2 biscuits, they will come after you wagging their tail, because that is their nature. Then cow is very it shows love to calf. So we find that that love between cow and calf, because cow has a quality to show love. And among human beings, we find each one has got different gunas. So the proportion of gunas vary in each one, and our actions depend on the gunas what we have. So here Lord tells Arjuna, you are a Kshatriya, so you have your own Swadharma, and you cannot go without doing it. So do it, because you can be bold in the war field. You can use your weapons. Even if one dies, you will move ahead with the war. So you have got that. You got trained and you have got inborn quality. So because of those qualities only you are a warrior. You are a Kshatriyan, so you have got it. So that is your inborn trait. So you can do only that. You can't be going in a Jnana Marga. It is not possible for you to become Jnani. Because you have that warrior qualities within you. So that will make you to do war. So he is explaining that you cannot follow Jnana Marga now. So you follow karma. Because God says we can exhibit our Swadharma, or we can do our Swadharma. Even again, for example, if I am a very soft-hearted person, then I can't be a soldier. I can get training, but in the battlefield, I should be bold enough to hold the gun or whatever the instrument I have. So there you get the training, but the quality has to be developed. The fighting spirit has to be developed, but you are doing for the good. You are saving the country. God says, yes, you can do it by karma marga. What is that? By paying devotion to God, you can develop that, because that spiritual path makes us understand that I have to do this duty, so that through this duty I am serving the country, I am serving the society. So by practice you get into that. So that is why karma marga is preferred here. So he taught Jnana Marga and Karma Marga. So now he tells Arjuna, for you only Karma Marga is suitable. So you go to you start fighting with the teachings I gave you. So do it as a Karma Yogi. Offer that to God. So in that way you do it. So that only that will be going along according to your nature, your own qualities. So if we follow Karma Marga, what happens? We move from that worldly enjoyment to God realization. So do prescribed duty without attachment and aversion. You don't have both. It is likes and dislikes. So when you have like attachment, when you have dislikes, you have aversion. So don't have this while doing the prescribed duty, and do it in the spirit of service to God. So here God has made it very clear how to do karma, and if you want to do karma, for example, if you want to move from tamas to rajas, rajas to sattvic, so you may say that I'm dominated by tamas guna, but how can I do that? How to elevate from tamas to rajas? Because my karma vasana makes me have the tamas guna. But how can I elevate myself from tamas to rajas? Channelize that guna. So channelize your energy. So what happens when you are channelizing? You are moving towards God. That is, the channelization should be done with bhakti. You should channelize towards God. Then you get it. Then you realize. Then you will realize that you have a duty to do and you have swadharma. So from tamas you will be moving to rajas. Then when you are in rajas, you do only for selfish motive. Then how to move to sattvic? Again, by paying more, by keeping God in our mind and do it as a service to God, then you will move to sattvic. So God says how to elevate yourself and how to do service, how to perform our swadharma. In 34th sloka, Lord Krishna says, senses naturally experience attachment and aversion to sense objects and not to get controlled by them, for they are waylayers and foes. They can be enemies and friends. So don't have likes and dislikes. So Lord Krishna emphasized in this sloka that mind and senses are driven by our natural tendencies. So we have seen in the previous sloka how the karma vasana, the effect of karma, makes us dominate by the gunas. We should know to harness the gunas, because rajas and tamas are not good. As long as we have this material body for the maintenance, we have to utilize the objects of sense. Lord Krishna says how to use it. So when you are consuming it, it is for necessary, but how to approach them while using. Don't have attachment and aversion, because they take you away from your path. If you have like, then it leads to attachment. If you have dislike, it leads to aversion. So the thoughts of objects gives you pleasure and it gives you attachment. The thoughts of objects, if you don't get it, what happens? The objects, if you run after the objects and you don't get it, so it gives you pain. So such thoughts of pain give you aversion. So the God says, no, don't have both. That will not allow you to do your duty, your karma properly, because your mind is focused on that. Your mind is deviated. Your mind is away from your regular duty, because you have to do your duty. That is commitment. So you have to do it. So here God says, you encounter likable and unlikable situation. Well, you will overcome that, because that is a lower nature. So you have to overcome that. Don't stick on to that. So how to overcome that? You stay indifferent to pain and pleasure in discharging your duty. So we will be free from both, and we will be acting from our higher nature. So your action will be good, your action will be benefiting people around you. So that is what? The higher nature. So when you have likes and dislikes, they will be diverting you. So God says, don't have that attachment and aversion. When you remove these two while discharging your duty, we will become truly free to act from our higher nature. So this is to Arjuna here, because Arjuna has to do his duty there in the battlefield. So do come out of it. You don't look at the battlefield from your point of view, because you don't like that. So if you look at this, you will have only the pain. So don't take pain and pleasure into your mind, and get ready to discharge your duty without taking pain and pleasure, so that you will be doing your duty for the sake of the people, because you have to fight against adharma. So in that case, you are helping your people. If you get into this pain, this dislike, then what happens? You are not going to help the people. Everyone will be suffering under adharma. So that is not good. So Lord Krishna is asking Arjuna to do his duty without having pain and pleasure in the mind. In 35th sloka, Lord Krishna says, it is far better to perform one's natural. In 35th sloka, Lord Krishna says, do your natural duty even imperfectly. It's better than doing someone else's duty perfectly. And he also says it is preferable to die in doing our own duty. When we do our own duty, that is the duty which is suitable to our nature, we are comfortable and we do it quickly and we do it easily. Whereas when you do someone else's duty, though you get trained, but there is always stress whether we are doing it perfectly. So there is always a fear in our mind. So there is disharmony between body, mind and intellect. When we do our own duty, there is a stability in our mind. That is what Lord Krishna says, you are happy, you are comfortable and you do it easily. For example, if everyone cannot be fighting in the battlefield, the soldiers who have got the mind to do, what kind of quality they have? Service to country, and their nature is bold. They can move in the battlefield despite seeing so many people are dead. So you should have that spirit. So I can say that I will get trained and go. That will not be enough. There I need, in the battlefield I need quickness. I need presence of mind. So I need how to take action immediately when I see an enemy there. Then I have to move on the dead bodies in such cases, such scenes. So my nature has to permit that. If my nature is against that, then what happens? I will not act immediately against the enemy. If I spot out anyone, I will not act. So that brings danger to the country. I am not helping the country. I am not doing any constructive service to the country. So it is better to do what is suitable to me. Same way, if I want to be surgeon, but I am having fear for everything, I can't even hold scissors and knife. Then how will I do justice to the profession of doctor, that is surgeon? So I will not be operating on the patients properly. So God says, do your duty which is suitable to your nature. So here the message is, though we are all having likes and dislikes. So we always like someone else dress, someone else property and someone else duty. If the other person is given some other duty in the office, we say, okay, if I had got that one, I would have done it better. That is my, I like that duty, so that would be my choice. So I would have done better. So we have that. It's a human tendency. God says, don't have that. See that is it possible for your nature to do that? And what is possible for us, what is suitable for us, we should do, so that you will enjoy doing that. So it's a small story. A saint, after he learnt from his guru, he was going back to his place. On the way, there was a crow dropped waste on him. Immediately he got angry. He got trained under the guru and he is a saint. But here he got angry immediately and cursed that crow to die. That crow died immediately and he was proud that all what he learnt in his course turned to be true. So he is very effective now. With that pride feeling he was working, and when he was moving to the next village, he went in front, you asked for alms in front of the village. The lady came out after a long time, so this saint became very angry. She looked at him and at his eyes and said, don't be angry. You cannot curse me like how you cursed that crow. My Swadharma will not. My Swadharma is much more effective than yours, because I am doing service to my ill husband. He is not well. He cannot move on his own. So I am doing service to him sincerely. And the service is like a service to God. So this is my Swadharma. And I am doing it so truly. So your curse will not do anything on me. Go to the next village, there will be one butcher and you will understand what I am telling you. He went there and he found that butcher cutting the meat and selling, and after some time he finished that job and he went inside his house. He prepared his parents for bathing and he cooked food and fed them and helped them to lie down on their bed, and he finished his job and he talked to the saint. He said, what did you understand? You saw me, you may be wondering, how come he was doing that job, cutting meat there, and here he is doing service. This is my Swadharma, doing service to parents is doing service to God. And what I was doing outside, that is also my duty. So both are different. But when I do both, I have God in my mind. So I am able to do justice to both. Then the saint realized his mistake. So he realized what the notion he had was wrong. So this is what happens in our life. What we do is, we don't understand our own ability and our own nature. Instead we like to do someone else's duty, because that is a human nature. So let's do what best we can do out of our own abilities. So we can do different types of services. So for example, when there is an emergency, when there is a war, or when there is a calamity, doctors can do service from their own field, and non-medical people, we can do service by collecting the materials needed, or organizing camps, organizing blood donation camp, and collecting medicines for them, and distributing food to people. So each one can do out of their own ability, out of their own traits, and we will be doing it comfortably. We will be doing it with happiness. I can't be acting like someone. So it is wrong. Pretending to be someone is not bringing any joy to us. Let us be what we are and do it. In 35th sloka, Lord Krishna says, it is far better to perform one's natural duty, that is prescribed duty, though tinged with faults, than to perform someone else's duty perfectly. So in fact, it is preferable to die in the discharge of one's natural duty than to follow someone's path, which is fraught with danger. Here he says, we have to follow our own duty, the duty which is suitable to our traits, what we have seen in the previous sloka. So that's what he said, it is preferable to die in doing our own duty. When you are doing someone else's duty, you are in danger, because we are always under stress that, am I doing correctly? Because you are learning and you are getting trained and you are doing. And you have likes towards it. God already said, don't have likes and dislikes. When you have likes and dislikes while discharging duty, you are not doing justice to that. Because you are not doing, your mind is always under stress. So you are not able to do it properly. Whereas if you do our own duty, which is suitable to our nature, you are comfortable in that and you do it easily and you enjoy doing it. So God says that is preferable. So when we do duty, through duty we are helping others. That is, we are doing service to others. So when whatever is comfortable for us, when we do that, we enjoy that. And we do it quickly also. And we do, though there are little mistakes, but we are doing as per nature, and how Krishna asks us to do duty as a karma yogi. So we are offering that to God. So it will not be considered as mistakes at all. Because God accepts that. Because we are offering every karma to Him. So He says, better do your own duty instead of doing someone else's duty. For example, working in the border, you can't be like soldiers, because soldier gets trained and he has got the trait to fight against the enemies, seeing so many dead bodies, and he is going ahead with his work. So you should have You should have a very strong mind and you should have the stable mind. So he has got that along with training, and that is suitable for his nature. He is bold. Whereas the person who says, I am very scared of everything, he can't be doing that duty. Because he can't, though he gets trained, he can't use his presence of mind there. He will not be quick in doing that action. When the enemy is there, you have to act quickly. But when you feel sorry for the people who are killed there, then what happens? You are performing your duty immediately. There you need quickness and the presence of mind. So you are not doing that. So that involves injustice. You are not being perfect, well, though you like it. So this is what Bhagavan says. Do your duty, do with little mistakes, it is acceptable. And he also said, it is preferable to die in discharging your own duty. So dharma. So dharma is mentioned here. Dharma of soul is to love God. So swadharma, self-dharma. So here we follow our own profession. The profession of our own nature gives us stable mind. That is very important. When we do someone's duty, someone's karma, what happens? There is disharmony among body, mind and intellect. So you are not sure of what you are doing. So that causes danger. That's what Lord Krishna says that. So you have to be very careful in doing your dharma. For example, if we change our duty, like